Consciousness consists of two primary functions: concentration and awareness. Mindfulness, also called self-observation or vigilance, is the active engagement of conscious awareness from moment to moment. It is a dynamic function of the mind. Awareness is a broad term that includes, but is not exclusive to, mental functions like concentration. Awareness is spatial, and it takes into consideration the who, what, where, how, why, and when of a given situation. Our consciousness, however, is very asleep. As a race, humans are deeply somnambulistic. Even though it seems like we're alert and actively paying attention all the time, we do this without awareness. One of the easiest ways to confirm this is to look at your dreams. Scientists say that we dream every night when we go to sleep. This is true. But how many people can remember their dreams every morning? And are those dreams vivid? And what about the people who know they dream every night? What kind of absurd, ridiculous, illogical things do they see when they're dreaming? What kind of strange things have you found yourself doing in dreams that seemed normal when it was happening? In a lecture by a Gnostic instructor, one of his examples was that we could be walking down a street we've never been on before, having a great conversation with a rabbit, and have absolutely no idea what we're doing. We dream that we're in a house that we think is ours, but it doesn't look anything like it. Or we talk to people we think we've known for years, and then we wake up wondering, who in the world were those people? And commonly, when all of this is happening, we think we're awake. We don't think anything of it. Now, do you see the difference between concentration and awareness? We try to concentrate every day. We concentrate on something for a bit, then get distracted. Then we go back to the task, or move on to the next thing. So in our dreams, in the same way, we can place concentration on things, many things. We often get hypnotized by desire or a repetitive task that we've been doing during the day, or by some strange sight. But we don't realize what's actually happening. That is awareness. That is what we lack. It's the function in consciousness that allows a person to be actively cognizant and alert in situations, and to recognize their own relationship with impressions. We also notice this lack of awareness when we watch a movie. We get so immersed in the story and the responses of the characters that our heart beats faster, we get emotional, and we lose ourselves and forget that we are the ones sitting here watching this movie in our living room. We lose awareness of that, and we just kind of become the movie. Unfortunately, there are many people who give up on meditation years down the road because they can't seem to get anything out of it. This is almost always due to the fact that they're not training themselves to be present and cognizant of themselves during the day. Because that mindfulness, ideally, is something that we should just be able to naturally maintain constantly, without breaks of distraction. To be mindful at all times, even when not in meditation. In fact, it's something that should be practiced every day from moment to moment. And there are similar practices where students exercise mindfulness for half an hour or an hour a day. But these are typically concentration exercises where there's a specific subject that they're focusing on. But to practice mindfulness, which is a general self-awareness and awareness of impressions, is something that should be practiced all day long, and all night even, if possible. Typically, our mind wanders everywhere during the day. We're thinking about that girl we met the other night, or we're driving to work with the music on and fantasizing that we're part of a music video. We wander off in our heads while somebody is talking to us, and we multitask and divide our attention to too many things all at once. All the while forgetting ourselves in the process. We forget that we are part of the impressions that we take in as observers. That's the critical aspect of awareness, self-awareness. In previous presentations, It's been taught that the human mind is almost entirely comprised of and conditioned by psychic aggregates, which in the West are called egos, and in Eastern religions are called skandhas or samskaras. There are many names for this. We have a subconscious mind that constantly distracts us with cravings, intellectual speculation, labels, thoughts about the future, dwellings in the past. We have a dim light bulb as a conscience, when really, our potential for concentration is like a laser beam. In fact, since the time of ancient India and Egypt, our ability to concentrate and maintain awareness as a race has declined. Our attention spans are shorter than they have ever been. That's part of the reason why songs on the radio are cut off at the end by a few seconds. That's why we have apps now like TikTok and features like YouTube Shorts that give us the option to post and watch videos that are only a few seconds long, because we don't have the attention span that we used to. So of course, when it's time to sit down and meditate at the end of the day for 20 or 30 minutes or so, and if we're only doing this a few times a week, then we're not going to strengthen that ability to concentrate and sustain a drowsy meditative trance that's required for any real meditation. Awareness is a moment-to-moment experience, a continuity of consciousness. This is such a basic thing that all of us should have been taught when we were children. The three brains, the mind, intellect, the intellect, the emotions, and the motor instinctual sexual brain must be constantly in balance in order to utilize the body's energy efficiently. This promotes vitality. And so this can't be done if we're not aware of the different parts of our mind that we're using. So fully developed awareness is not the ability to focus on something for 2 hours straight while exhausting ourselves and then quitting and falling back into hypnosis again. Awareness is the natural ability to effortlessly remain conscious and awake at all times from moment to moment. It's because our mind is conditioned by these skandhas or defects that our consciousness is modified and can't do this. This is why our ability to focus requires a lot of effort, and the practice of mindfulness starts off very transient and exhausting for many people. So in summary, mindfulness is an active function that demands a constant inquisitiveness in whatever we're observing. We should never let ourselves become hypnotized, fascinated, identified with images or with sensory impressions, both outwardly and inwardly. We have to observe the outside world at all times, and we have to be watchful of our internal world, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what we're doing. And by developing this habit while we're awake, this is what allows us to take that skill into meditation and into the internal worlds, into the astral plane when we're doing dream yoga,